So I think, there is no doubt there is some premium cost, right? You can't pretend it's nothing. And I think the earlier you work on making your project green in the design cycle, the more you can fix in the design itself, you can really bring the cost down to almost, as I mentioned, 0.5% of construction cost. So it's marginal, right? It's not going to be a huge number. But it is something, as I mentioned, developers, worry about even that, right? So it has got to be, somebody has got to pay for it. And I think the perfect opportunity is the customer could pay for it, or the investor to the developer should pay for it. So there is a group of people that can help in this space.
But as you said earlier, that developers won't pay even if it's just 1% of their margins.
Yeah, so essentially what we do is we make the business case. We explain to them that, okay, it's 0.5%. Let me step back a little bit, right? So let's say you're doing a hotel project, okay, and then you have to you have some basic design that you have in mind, and then you figure, actually, if I go for a slightly better air conditioning system, it's going to cost me 0.5% overall more, right? But then on the other side, on the operating cost side, you're saving, let's say, $500,000, right? That could easily pay for itself. Most payback, return on investment, is more like 1 year, 2 years maximum. Okay, especially for new construction, and that's a no-brainer. So if you can communicate that actually the return on investment could actually be much higher than the building's return on investment, right? That marginal incremental cost, that is the game change. So that's where our focus has been, to make that, that the payback aspect, the commercial return aspect, but also kind of more indirectly, right? So let's say the hotel we're talking about, the person who owns the hotel can then attract better brands to come and run the hotels. They can possibly, charge or get more clients to go after green hotels. You see, there is, if you had a choice, you would want to go to a green hotel and stay there, for example, right? So there's a customer demand there. And then they can also attract investors. So people like us, we only look at these kind of projects. So there is value so looking at the 0.5% and worrying, making them realize that the 0.5% is only a small amount compared to what all the benefits there could be. But there needs to be transparency. That is the main thing. I mean, what we figured out, that if it's all like hearsay and just the sense that, oh, I'm green, I'm not green, there needs to be somebody, rigid and sort of very credible, that can provide a guarantee that this is a green building. That's when the whole thing moves, right? That's kind of been our realization. So that's why we came up with a certification platform, where that same developer, okay, he's invested the 0.5%. We help that person communicate that they have a certification from us and it's credible. They can sell that to the buyers. The buyers buy it faster, and when they buy it faster, let's say you have 80 days earlier sale for housing now, that money is savings on the borrowing cost, you see, that the developer borrows from banks. So that saving could be way higher than the investment he's made, okay? That sort of is where we are focused on, trying to see how we can make that case on that end, and also connect that developer to investors who are interested in green. There's a lot of interest in green bonds and green loans, that making financial sector wanting to take this on. And guess which is the biggest opportunity for climate and green finance? It's buildings. Okay.